Hey guys, Stephen here from Double Tap. In this clip from Double Tap TV, CNET's Dan Ackerman joins us to discuss the year in tech. Enjoy.
You're watching Double Tap TV.
We're back, and our guest this week is a tech journalist, a writer, a columnist, and he's the editorial director at CNET, one of the foremost online technology news and reviews site, probably ever, frankly. Dan Ackerman is with us. Dan, we're excited to have you on to talk about 2023 in tech. Dan, frankly, by the end of last year, we were talking more about the redundancies of high-tech companies. So do we think it's more of the same for 2023 or something different?
Every time I think we've gone through a lot of big changes and evolutions and things are going to quiet down for a little bit, then something crazy happens. First it was COVID, and that just upended the way everybody lives and works and changed, work computer technology, and webcams became so important, and, all these video meetings and Zoom. Nobody had heard of that really outside of a handful of people before that. And then we all settled back in again. And then this year we got into number one, recession era economics and all kinds of supply chain shortages, and then a complete explosion in what we thought was a very mature social media market, where this very important way that people communicate and interact suddenly becomes hugely, hugely fragmented and controversial. So I would never again say, I think we're in for a quiet year.
Dan, we start the new year every year with CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the largest consumer electronics show in the world. Do you have any sense of what the big themes are going to be this year? Is it going to be wearables again, maybe connected devices? What's it going to be?
I find that for that CES technology trade show in particular, which I think I've been going to every year since like 2004, it's not a super great predictor of what people are really interested in, because it kind of happens out of sync with when companies have their product release cycles and they're getting stuff ready for the next holiday season. It's interesting to see where people put their markers down, but I don't think the big companies that come to CES are often going, hey, here's our big story for the year, January 5th. Take this and run with it, because all these big guys, whether it's Samsung or Toshiba, Microsoft, they have their own events now and their own schedules during the year where they want to have, kind of like Apple does, they want to have their own day to themselves where everyone comes and pays attention to them. But they will have, TVs are always big there. Every year, here's something every year they say, this is the year that robots are going to be really big. We're going to have home robots. We're going to have, industrial help robot. This is the robot. Everyone's got a cute robot rolling around serving drinks. It never happens. I always think they've given up on this other trend. Every year they used to say, this is the year that 3D printing is going to be really big. You're going to have basically a replicator in your house. And I've been a big fan of this. I do a lot of 3D printing. I reviewed 3D printers when I get a chance here at CNET. Many, many years ago, I was on like a CNBC show predicting stuff. And I said, this is it, 2015, 2016, whatever it is. This is the year of the 3D printer. And I was dead wrong then. I continue to be dead wrong going forward. I think even the CES people have given up on that. But outside of CES, I think the things I'm thinking about, maybe four big things, are AI, artificial intelligence, in ways that are becoming more clear literally every day right now. AR and VR, and that goes right into wearables because they're so inexorably linked together. I'm very interested to see what people think about the whole crypto, NFT, Web3 fallout that's happening right now. And of course, like I said before, that future of social media that's suddenly much more up in the air. And that's kind of I think the big things that I think we're all going to spend a lot of time thinking about in 2023.
Dan, AR and VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, they got a fair bit of attention in 2022, especially with Meta and all things metaverse on our minds. So is this the year that we finally see, and I'm praying that it is, the year that Apple has got what it has up its sleeve for that category? Apple Glass, maybe?
All signs point to yes, but I wouldn't take it to the bank just yet. This makes me feel a lot like whenever it was, 10, 11 plus years ago, when the very first iPad was about to come out. And in the winter before, we were all going, Apple's making a tablet or a screen. What's it going to be like? Is it going to be a computer? Is it going to run the Mac OS, whatever they called it at the time? Is it going to be more like a big phone? Is it going to cost $1,000? And we ran all these prediction stories. And they came out and they announced it, I think, in either January, February. Then it was on sale in March. And it was such a quick turnaround from imagining, debating, concept, announcement, product release, change the world, you could certainly have something similar this year. I'm not saying you definitely will, but I could see an early in the year announcement and an early rollout to kind of capture some of that same magic they had with the iPad back then. That said, there's going to be a lot of competition. Obviously, a lot of people are in that space. A lot of people have been waiting for Apple to make a move in that space before they really commit. Obviously, none of the products that are even closely related to a conceptual Apple set of glasses or goggles or VR headset or whatever it is, none of them are super mainstream. The closest you could probably say is the Quest 2 from Meta, formerly the Oculus Quest, which is basically a toy device, but it's so popular. People who get it love it. It's easy to use. It was $300. Then they went and raised the price by $100. Over the summer, which is a great thing if you could do that for a 2-plus-year-old product. Oh, I'm raising the price. Fantastic. But I found when they dropped it again by another $50 for holiday shopping in 2022 and threw in a couple of free games, exploded in popularity. Everybody was buying those.
Dan, it feels like if Apple does actually release a product like this, they're going to have to really try and explain what it's meant for because, to date, when you think of augmented reality or virtual reality or even XR, extended reality, it's traditionally been for gaming, and Apple is not a gaming company. We don't think of gaming when you think of Apple, right?
Yeah, Apple was never a gaming company, never really been big into that, and people have joked about that for many, many years. And I don't think a product that they put out would be particularly game-focused, just like the latest Quest device from Facebook/Meta is not game-focused. It's that Quest Pro, which is a professional device, an industrial device. I don't think anyone who even, the handful of people who bought it even really know what it's for. It's kind of like the Microsoft HoloLens, which, again, is not a gaming device, even though it does cool AR stuff. Anyone I've talked to, even over the past couple of years, frankly, who's looking at getting into the wearable space with either virtual or augmented reality or some combination of the two is looking for the industrial/business hook because they know that's how they're going to get funding. They know that's how they're going to get companies to spend $1,500, $2,000 per unit on something that doesn't really have a lot of practical use yet. The consumer play is going to have to come later. I really think it's going to be a more pro-focused device, whether it's a new device from Apple or new devices from anybody else. I think consumer VR hit a little bit of a wall with the Quest 2, which is a great device. Everybody likes it, but I don't see anyone throwing a lot of resources into consumer VR, AR. They all want some of that professional business money.
Dan, Stephen, we're really just scraping the surface here, and we need to talk some accessibility for 2023, okay? So let's take a quick break. We're in conversation with Dan Ackerman, editorial director at CNET, and we'll continue with Dan after this.
Can't get enough Double Tap TV? Subscribe to the podcast and get your fill of Double Tap every day. Visit doubletaponair.com and follow us now. Double Tap TV will be right back.